So I'm privileged, and we all are privileged here today to chat to Jarvis Smith. Jarvis is the co-founding director of Mind Green Pod and the founder of the P.E.A Awards. Welcome, Jarvis. Delighted to meet you and have a chat.
Thank you, Mick. Nice to finally get to chat to you too. Look
Yeah,
forward
yeah.
to it.
So kick off, Jarvis. Just tell us a little bit about My Green Pod. Then, what's it all about?
Well, my Green Pod was set up to be an influencing ethical lifestyle media company. I come from a publishing background. I work with national newspapers in various shapes and sizes of media, TV, radio, music. Well, I was invited onto a TV show back in 2006 to live on a landfill in Croydon for 3 weeks with 10 other people. It completely transformed my life. I got to see the dark side of consumerism. I got to see the damage that we were doing to the planet in the way that we live. And my Green Pod was essentially born from that discomfort that I experienced, and I wanted to help inspire and educate and inform people about the damage that we were doing through the work skills that I had, and that was media and advertising. So my Green Pod was really born from that. It actually started as National Geographic Green, which was my first major publication, world's biggest ethical lifestyle magazine. Then we moved to the Guardian in 2010, and then my Green Pod kind of evolved organically from that process in 2015, because the Green Party became quite prominent, and we were then called Green, just Green, and we didn't want to be associated with a political party, although the Green Party are amazing. And that's the kind of life journey of my Green Pod. And what we do today is we reach about 8 billion people through print, through digital, through the awards that we do. And what we actually do is we find the best products and organisations that we can possibly find that are doing the best that they can when it comes to living sustainably, and we get them in front of people.
And can people actually purchase on My Green Pod?
So they can. We launched an alternative, disruptive model to the likes of Amazon. These shopping platforms that tend not to care much about sustainability. So yeah, you can go and you can buy, all your kind of essential products, from deodorants to cleaning products to organic wines, etc. So we are literally a marketplace, and that launched in November the year before last. It's doing very well. So if you want to shop clean and green and a toxic-free lifestyle, shop at mygreenpod.com. Shameless plug there.
That's the place to go. That's the place to go, for sure.
Yeah.
So what type of customers and consumers are engaging with you?
Yeah, well, because we've been around a long time, we've kind of taken people on a journey. So we know that our predominant audience is female. About a good 75% of our users are female. The age bracket is ranging between 35 and 55, with a core age of about 45, which is really interesting. And I think that is literally because we've been around for longer than a decade, so people have come with us. And what we're doing now is we're trying to tap into a slightly younger demographic, and really find out from them what they want. What do you want? And can we go out and find the best versions of what you require? So that's our next part of the game plan.
And what other alternatives have people got to this type of information and access to products? Is there anybody out there else doing what you're doing, or trying to do what you do? You don't need to name them, but
yeah, no, there are a couple of people, and I'm not bothered about naming them at all. The unfortunate thing is that if you are a person that wants a convenient lifestyle, which most of us do, we're not the most convenient shopping platform. We're not one that you can go onto your phone, open up an app, put in a product. Within a second, you can be ordering that and it'll be delivered to you tomorrow. We're not that. What we're trying to do is we're trying to offer a more conscious, slower environment, so you can actually really consider what you're buying and whether that's going to have an impact on you today, your family, the environment, and future generations. And that's what we want to do. We want to slow the process down a bit. So, in answer to your question, are there anybody else doing it? Yes, of course there are, but I don't think there's anyone doing it as consciously and as value-based with a purpose as we are.
So what is it about that conscious and values based that singles you out, do you think?
Well, without being arrogant, I'm a father of 5 children. I want a better world for my kids, and so I decided to create something that would make that space and make that opportunity. And by default, it includes every child on the planet. It includes every person on the planet. So,
Mm.
you know, we've been doing this a long time. My wife is deputy editor at Which magazine, which, as you know, is the largest consumer-based NGO in the world. She's an investigative journalist. At the time, they didn't really want sustainability as part of their process, and so we decided to set something up that would challenge that model and give information to people. So, what makes us stand out, I think, is the fact that we've been doing it a long time and we really know what we're doing and why we're doing it. I mean, we're both vegan, we drive an electric car, we, use sustainable and renewable energy, and the list goes on. So we live it. We don't just try and
Mm.
sell it, we live it.
And what does the future look like for My Green Pod? What are the challenges ahead? What are the opportunities?
Yeah, it's a good question. My first 10 years was about making sustainability mainstream. So we all know that's happened. I'm not saying we did it that's single-handedly, but we played a big part in it. My next 10 years is really focused on creating an alternative shopping environment where people can shop knowing that they've shopped and bought the best thing that is available that's going to do the least damage to them and to the planet. So it's really about taking head on the big retailers and offering something disruptive, value-based, and that has a purpose.
Brilliant. Everyone needs a purpose, that's for sure.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I mean, the real heroes in this story are not us. It's not the brands, it's not the products, it's not the organizations, it's the people. So if you can create an environment that validates and supports their heroic journey, because we're going to need one, then I think that's super empowering. That's what we're about.
So you've been on a journey then, haven't you, since 2006 especially?
Hmm.
What do you think you've learned about yourself along the way?
I've learned to not operate in a business world that is full of deceit, greed, and competitiveness. So what I've learned is that actually by being honest, by being transparent, by doing the right thing, by not just taking money for the sake of taking money, and including everybody that's trying to do the same thing within that vision, then that is true sustainability. And I don't mean from an eco perspective, I mean from a business perspective. So I've seen hundreds, if not thousands, of businesses come into the space and exit the space very quickly because number one, they might not be making enough money, they might not have met investors' interests. They realise that it's not a a gold rush or a green rush. It's actually very, very difficult to be in the space that we're in. It's not about making fortunes. It's about doing the right thing. So what I've learned is that actually integrity is the fundamental and key quality to running a business. And I think that challenges most business situations.
Hmm. And also on the subject of learning, if there was one thing you could do differently, if you had the opportunity, looking back over time, what might that be?
I would have started a lot earlier. I got into business very late. So before I got into business, I trained with a female shaman for about 14 years, and I came into business with principles of understanding nature and the earth and the shamanic wisdom and indigenous wisdom. I think that had I have started business much earlier in my time, I probably would have learned the business things that I needed to learn earlier. And then when I've had that experience, could have gone into business with a lot more understanding, basic principles like, numeracy, accounting, bottom line, P&L, cash flow, all of those, they're all things you learn as you go along.
Yeah, as you say, they give you the other type of sustainability, don't they?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Brilliant. Well, that's awesome. Thank you very much, Jarvis. And I wish you well on your the rest of your journey. I'm sure you'll keep changing the world.
Thanks, Mick. I'm going to try.
Thank you.